If I tell you to picture a main character trying to escape fate, who will you think about? Cultured people might say Eren, Mitsuha and Taki, or even Guts. But the true noblesse will say Sunless. Well, this isn't about him. This is a tale of a human who got a mythic item. Weaver's Mask, just kidding. So awaken the people with powers in this world, and those that use their powers to defeat monsters are called Raiders. But did you know their hearts beat the fastest when they're about to die? Yeah, no kidding, dog. Bro has just made the most astounding discovery of mankind. Anyway, in this world of dungeon raiding, martial artists are on the decline, and magicians have taken their places, making them all but obsolete. So now they are only used as meat shields, if at all, and that's where the MC, Jaeyoon, finds himself. Worst of all is that he had the best talent to become a magician. So why did he still choose to be a warrior despite his low affinity for it? Well, turns out it's due to popularity. So no one took magicians seriously before. I don't get why, like, wouldn't they have had the same power they have now? So I guess he just blindly followed the crowd because of that, and is now suffering for it. Let me put it into perspective. It has been 11 long years since he became a warrior, and he hasn't made any progress at all. He's still a D-rank piece of bacon who's only used as a meat shield in raids. Raids like the one he's being invited to by his friend Woman. I ain't gonna lie, off the rip, this Woman guy looks crafty as hell, even though he's trying to play innocent. We should keep an eye on him. Anyway, Jaeyoon joins and the day of the raid arrives. Bright early morning, he's just chilling and waiting for Woman to arrive when he's pulled into his thoughts. And I wasn't ready for what I was about to see, let me just tell you that. Inside his thoughts, we see a darkness within him that preludes to something more. And there's someone inside that darkness. Like Sukuna? No, not inside him like that. Pause. Like, it's just a dark thought he's having. Anyway, Woman agreed to join the raid together with him. But now it's reaching the time to start the raid. He pulls off a Danny Phantom and goes ghost. Like, no text, no call, no nothing. So now bro has to go in by himself. Let me drop a prediction right now. I say he'll get an item that will let him be both a warrior and a magician at the end of this. If not, why would they show us how high his magic aptitude is for no reason and leave us with a tinge of regret? From the name, I obtained the mythic item. Bruh, these webtoon names be making me feel like prime Shakespeare. Shakespeare? Nah, the detective guy. Aha, Sherlock Holmes. Their names be making me feel like Sherlock. Look at this popular manga. I became the Hokage after getting rejected by my first love and almost getting killed by her boyfriend, by Sasushi Kihimada. The names go crazy, bro. Anyway, the raid starts and Woman hasn't still arrived, so Jaeyoon enters without him. After a few long, grueling hours as a meat shield, he stops to rest with the rest of the raiders, and that's when he checks out his loot. But this is where things take a weird turn, cause his system crashes all of a sudden and he hears a strange voice telling him to follow the light. Now, I can't think of any situation where following the light is a good thing, except it comes from the Bible. And this is not from the Bible, nigga.
Read, nigga, read!
I mean, you hear a strange voice telling you to do something. You'd be a fool not to, right? A weird voice crashed my system and gave me an instruction. I don't know who it is, but it's probably nothing, right? I mean, what could go wrong? Anyway, at this point, the story goes on a tangent and talks about the mythological foundation of the world. This big tree just started growing in the middle of the Pacific Ocean out of nowhere, and they somehow know the name is Yggdrasil. Or Yggdrasil. Brr. If I had a kobo for every time Yggdrasil is mentioned in a manhwa, I'll have 2 now, which is not a lot but still weird. So moving on with the origin story, the tree Yggdrasil grew from the Pacific Ocean in 9 days, then unleashed a horde of monsters on humanity after growing. Talk about ungrateful. You use our earth and water to grow, and this is how you repay us? I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. Obviously, this betrayal leads to a lot of people passing away. In fact, more than 3/4 of mankind passed away from these attacks. Bro, the origin stories of most of these manhwas are exactly the same. Always about monsters invading and a big chunk of the population getting dropped. Like, please, just do something new. Anyway, the monsters attacked. More than half of humanity was terminated. But then a hero appeared, a guy who looked too smug to be in such an apocalyptic world, honestly, showed up and defeated the monsters. He was the first awakened, and following him, even more people awakened with the Ether system, which the author describes as humanity's strongest weapon. So with all this knowledge, Jaehyun knows that anyone who can interfere with it must be super powerful, but he still ends up following the light and finding a treasure gate. Stuff that have treasure have been giving me chills ever since I read Shadow Slave. I think I might be traumatized, bro. Bro. Covetous Coffle. Anyway, a treasure gate can only be found in a dungeon if you have at least half as much luck as King in One Punch Man. And that's saying a lot. So as Jaehyun enters the gate, he discovers a mythic item. And not just a mythic item, it's the only mythic item in the world. How am I so sure? It says that right here on his system, which just happens to start working normally again. Hooray. Imagine getting the mythic item and your first thought is to sell it for money. No wonder he was so weak after all these years. With this type of decision-making skills, he's toe-to-toe with Richard in the rankings.
6 months, she'll go from a Nicole to a Gumball. In 9 months, she'll be a Darwin. By 12 months, she'll have the intelligence of an amoeba. And at 18 months, she'll have gone full Richard.
Anyway, he stores it quietly and heads back to the group to continue the raid. You noticed how I said quietly? I mean, in these dungeons with no surveillance, anything can happen to you for a couple of coins. Talk less of a mythic item. No, the only mythic item in the world. And worst of all, for you to be held by a D rank for that matter is enough to send him to the gulag. It's unfortunate, but in this world, the original sin is weakness. So he gets back with the group, but they are suddenly attacked by some dungeon assassins. During the chaos, Jaehyun manages to save his little life and runs away, but he's followed by one of them and turns to see his face. Well, guess who it is? Just as I said in the beginning, I knew this guy looked like the treacherous lost from Light. Still, let's see the reason for his betrayal. Does he know something about the mythic item? Or does he just have a vendetta against Jaehyun? The contract said to slay the Meteor Guild because they were too smug. And you? Because your father feels like it. So you're telling me he did it just for money? Or a contract? A pretty despicable and mundane motivation, honestly. By the way, even though he's evil, there's still one upside about women in all this. He still makes sure to be polite even when he asks Jaehyun to die. What a nice guy. What a nice guy. I think that clears all his wrongdoing, guys. What do you think? Anyway, in the heat of the attack, Jaehyun equips the mythic item and starts to fight back. And just like I predicted, the item lets him use magic. Now his raw talent in magic shows his power, and he overpowers women to his shock. How can someone who's never used magic before beat an A rank like me who has trained for years? Jaehyun was like, it's called plot armor B. Bow! With those words, he shows no mercy and terminates women, then collapses from mana exhaustion. And after a few moments, he dies. You dey mad? I mean, a few moments to his passing, the system completes its update and offers him a regression opportunity. How convenient. When did it even start the download and why didn't I know about it? Anyway, this new system, the non-new system, regresses him back to the past and he gets a lot of skills and attention during the process. Could you guess what time he regressed to? Leave it in the comments. So from this point forward, this is a regression and quest system manhwa. I think you can guess what comes next. Solo leveling and also father revenge, because it seems like that dark side I talked about previously wasn't him, but his dad. So with this new chance, he promises himself to completely change his future and leave no regrets. By the way, this new system gives him cards for completing quests, like questism. And one type of card is able to copy skills without their flaws/penalties. So with that card, he meets up with the Saintess of Korea, Seongun, who died tragically because of her powers. Her unique skill, Sacrifice, is able to heal people in exchange for her lifespan, and that led to her passing away in the future of his past life. In the past of his past life? Does that make any sense? So now in this present past, he uses the card to copy her skill, Sacrifice, and heal her because she can't heal herself with it. With all this past, present shit, you will think this is a Samurai Jack intro.
I tore open a portal in time and flung him into the future, where my evil is law. Now the fool seeks to return to the past and undo the future that is Aku.
Okay, so in his past life, he wasn't able to enter any academy. No, that's not it. They refused to admit bro into even the lowest ranked guilds. That's crazy. That's crazy. But now healing Sungun gives him benefits equal to that of the academy. Anyway, he heals her and asks to enter a dungeon under her guild, alone. Usually a team of at least 5 raiders is required to challenge a dungeon, but he goes in by himself after receiving some gifts from her assistant. Such a peaceful gate, nothing can go wrong. System, and I took that personally. Due to the uniqueness of the Nornir system, he's transported to a place different from the original. So something unique about the systems in this world is that they seem to be connected to or controlled by deities. The former Aesir system is controlled by Aesir, and this Nornir system should be controlled by Nornir. Anyway, he's taken to a different scene, Helheimer, the realm of the dead. And as soon as he drops in, he gets jumped by these white-boned niggers. And that's it for now. Like, subscribe, comment, and I'll catch you in the next one. Omni Army, we outta here!